Bill Dunn said, you might not want to trust all of what you hear politicians. Well, you might want to refer that to newscasters too, because we're just as fallible. And but thank you so much for allowing me to be here. And when I was asked to speak, and then I saw something in the mail that said Alan Williams, main speaker, I went, oh my goodness, I don't know if I want that entire responsibility. No, I don't have that entire responsibility. I'm just here, though, to give you a few words of wisdom from my perspective. And I don't get a chance to talk about this very often because I'm in a structured environment, and I usually just give you the news. But first of all, I just want to tell you that I'm very, very humbled beyond belief to be able to speak to you, to be here. You see your name and you see, your picture in print. I really honestly don't feel I deserve all that. I really don't. But I do realize that I am in the public eye. And from that perspective alone, yes, I am honored to be here and to share my beliefs. Now, I speak usually on television in what we call sound bites. That's 20 to 30 seconds of little bursts of words, of energy, and unfortunately that's good, and sometimes that's bad, because in this case, maybe you're probably thinking, get to the point, Alan. Well, that's the whole purpose of this, because speaking in sound bites, yes, I do get to the point very quickly. So they asked me to speak about 15 minutes, but I'm probably not going to speak 15 minutes, because, of course, we want to hear speakers, we want to engage ourselves, we want to walk down there on Kingston Pike as well. But I feel as a Christian, that we all have the obligation through Jesus Christ to share our faith, whether it's in our own neighborhoods, or whether it's maybe doing mission work in a foreign country. So one thing that's embedded in my head from today that I can't get over, and his brother is here in the audience, by the way, too. My pastor today, it just fits, because his sermon today was, I am not ashamed to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. And that's exactly what I'm like. We are here to take a stand, and I am, unfortunately, though, a person of business where you usually don't express those beliefs, those ideas on the air. I've been a Christian as a child, and I've grown up in a Christian home, but it wasn't until about 18 years ago, and I've said this story before, that literally I was driving down Kingston Pike, and something hit me. It said, Alan, you're in a good position in life. You do command an audience. People do watch you. Yes, they do believe you. But what are you really doing in life? What are you really doing with this? And so I made a commitment right there to be able to share my faith in certain situations and in instances where I know that I can. And I get that opportunity, and I see that. And on television as well. Can I talk about my faith? Obviously not. I can't. But there are certain ways that I can express my beliefs. And I go for that shot every single chance that I get. I'm not here to talk about me personally. This is not about me. But this is an opportunity that I can tell you a little bit about what goes on in a guy's life that is in command of a lot of people. But he does want to share that with you. So pray for me in a sense of what I'm going through and wanting to share. So there's a whole lot of conflicts out there. There's many stories that I feel like I just want to say, will you read that tonight? Because I don't feel comfortable with that. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. But my boss now at WBLT knows my faith is the core of my existence. And he said it was all right with sharing it. I had a meeting with him. And this is very, very unusual because I applaud that. And I'm certainly not here, and I want you to get this to understand that I'm not here to gain viewers by me being on this pulpit right now, for you to watch me and say, okay, good, maybe I can have some more people. No. That is not it, and it will never be it. I'm here because I want to share a bit of a perspective of an issue that we, all as Christians, have a strong opinion on. And there's one story that's fresh in my mind and has been reported on in the news that is absolutely horrible. You might have heard about it, you might not have. But it's about an abortion doctor now accused of some horrific things, killing a number of babies. I'm not going to go into detail about this because it's too horrible to even talk about. You can find the story on the internet, but he is facing a number of charges as we speak. But there are a lot of issues, though, that are close to home and simply not illegal. heartbreak of teens getting pregnant out of wedlock, or perhaps even a rape and a resulting pregnancy that turned a family inside out. Decisions as to what to do, the stigma of it all, hoping that simply it will just all go away. This is where we as Christians can really make a difference in someone else's life. Not to finger point, not even to preach, but to show the love of Christ in a very, very compassionate way. Jeremiah 1:4-5 says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." You know, it's clear that God's view of life begins before birth. God doesn't look at our lives from birth to death, but views us from conception onward. And when I first got married many years ago, my wife told me at this point that there was a 90% chance that she could get pregnant. Then, almost 2 years later, or 1 year later, we had our first child. Almost 2 years later, we had another child. This to me was a miracle. And at the time, unfortunately, I wasn't ready to be a father. I hadn't planned on it, even thought about it. I was even sorely lacking in parental skills. So I followed through, actually, with what possibly could demand to terminate a pregnancy. I thought about it. We even discussed this. To this day, I wouldn't have two of the sweetest people on earth. To this day, I thank God for them as well. And it changed my perspective totally. And I spoke to one of my daughters about this recently. She's now 25. And she's like many young ladies around the country, East Tennessee, still trying to find herself. I told her the same story. And when I got to the part about possibly terminating the pregnancy, you know, she got it. Her eyes opened up because I'm talking about her. She was my daughter. And now she's alive and she has the joys of life. But we are all here because we share the belief that abortion is wrong. So how do we respond, though, to someone who doesn't share that perspective? Or those that walk in that abortion clinic door that we're about to march into, or what we'll march around today? By showing compassion, you're also showing Christ's love. Deep down inside, how can that person who has also ended a life not hurt as well? Compassion doesn't have to be sugary or syrupy sweet. We can still hold true to our beliefs without backing down, but giving gentle nudges represented by the love of Christ. As a follower of Him with biblical reminders that Christ loves you so much, and there's so much of a better way. Philippians 2:4 says, "Touched by His compassion, we are moved by His love to reach out to those who we know who are hurting." Some of you might be asking, as I do, you know, that's simply not an easy task to do, Alan, and I agree. I'm a work in progress every day, too. But today I'm standing with you that abortion is wrong. But I'm also looking to forgive as Christ would, showing His compassion, His love, and as a Christ follower. Thank you very much, and look